June the 2nd, scents. This is the month in the past when sweet-smelling rushes were replaced in churches, where they were often arranged in patterns on the floor. Meadowsweet was a medieval favourite, releasing the pleasant smell of dry grass mixed with oil of wintergreen. The smell of cut grass is inextricably linked with high summer and imparts a feeling of well-being to many. Fortunately, it intensifies as the grass dries, allowing gardeners, picnickers and park users to enjoy it all the more. Wild flowers continue to be a rich source of new scents, for example, the muskmallow, Malva muscata, and the musk thistle, Cardus nutans. Unsurprisingly, both have a smell of musk. Bindweed, Convolvulus arvensis, smells of almonds, and sweet flag leaves, Acorus calamus, of tangerine. Downland is a preferred habitat for Londoners to have their picnics at this time of year. Common downland plants now producing their scents include squidantiwort, Asperula siamchica, vanilla, crosswort, Galium cruciata, honey, Gelder rose, Viburnum opulus, moss, salad burnet, sanguisorba, minor, cucumber, and common agrimony, Agrimonia eupatoria, apricots. Fragrant agrimony, Agrimonia odorata, is taller, much rarer, and has a resinous smell like walnut leaves. At the edges of fields, scented mayweed, Matricaria raycotita, is common in outer London. This has a pleasant smell without being bruised, and a commercial oil of chamomile is made from its leaves. In similar situations, pineapple weed, Matricaria matricaroides, produce its own pungent smell of pineapple. Stinking mayweed, Anthemus scatula, is rarer. It has a rancid smell and can even cause blistering if handled. Sometimes, if the root that smells, for example, herb Bennett, Geomerbanum, of cloves, and Valeriana officinalis, of perspiration. In other plants, it is primarily the leaf that carries the scent. For example, mullein leaves often give off a fruity odour, and woundwort leaves have a disagreeable, musty, pungent smell. Mixed with hog's grease, the latter was thought to be a good treatment for scythe wounds. Gerard recorded it in the meadows of Lambeth. Although his meadows are long gone, the plants can still be found in the area. Balmy days in summer are a good time to look for scents in garden centres that have labelled plants. In gardens, heavyweights such as jasmine and honeysuckle are joined by sweet peas and new roses. Others include the foxtail lily, Fritillaria imperialis, foxes, Helichrysum angustifolium, curry, Galteria wintergreen, Nepeta mint and resin, Dictamnus citron and balsam, and Dianthus clove. It is worth noting in some cases it may be one particular species or variety that carries the scent. Trees also have their own particular collection of scents, some of which are equally unusual. For example, Northofagus, pumpkin pie, eucalyptus and magnolia flowers are always worth investigating. For example, Eucalyptus citriodora, lemon soap, Eucalyptus coxifera, peppermint, and there is even a magnolia that smells of banana, Magnolia figo. When night comes, different garden plants start emitting their perfumes to attract moths. For example, jasmine, honey, nicotiana, and blumansia. Sometimes these scents in June are so powerful they can drench the night air. On one or two of the few remnants of good downland left near London, the pyramid orchid may still be found. This smells of cloves during the day and foxes by night. Motherwort, Leonoris cardiaca, has a sweet minty smell for some, but is much more pungent to others. It used to be used to ease the pains of childbirth. Culpeper says there is no better herb, quote, to drive away melancholy, vapours from the heart, and make the mind merry. It can still be found around London as a relic of previous cultivation. More unpleasant odours at this time are to be found in hemlock, Conium maculatum, mice, feverfew, Tanacetum parthenium, camphor, and perforated St. John's wort, Hypericum perforatum, wet fir. Daylilies, Hemerocallis, and black horehound, Bolota nigra subspecies fetida, both have rancid smells which can be quite different to remove from your hands. Colours. London is predominantly green in June. It is not the vibrant green of spring, nor the dusky green of late summer. With all the trees, shrubs and herbs now fully in furrow, it is a true Lincoln or leaf green. Trees are now largely a uniform colour compared with a few weeks ago when there was considerable variation. Larch trees which started an emerald green are already turning jade. In gardens, it is quite different. Due to extensive plant breeding, a whole host of vivid colours are to be seen. Rose gardens excel in all the shades of red, along with many other different colours. Although not vivid, there are innumerable spots of colour to be seen across the landscape due to the huge number of wildflowers. Some species with more unusual colours include the deep burgundy flowers of figworts, the vermilion and electric blue forms of scarlet pimpernel, Anagallus arvensis, and the sinister purple of deadly nightshade, Atropa belladonna, and the almost shocking pink of sainfoin on a Brychus vicifolia. The very first hints of autumn colour is starting to show in some docks, rumet species, whose leaves are starting to turn a vivid scarlet. Sounds. The sound spectrum of June is quite different from the preceding 2 months. Birdsong is now rapidly declining, with the exception of pleading calls of fledglings, which are becoming more and more noticeable. Short warning notes from parents are also very common. Woods are generally quieter, although there are regular bursts from blackcaps and chiffchaffs in mixed woods. Trees themselves produce a variety of different sounds on windy days. Hornbeams are said to sound like rain, whereas limes and poplars rustle, and some grasses seem to whisper. Many of the short, surprising sounds of June are between parents and their young, for example, deer. Towards the end of the month, the high-pitched stridulations of grasshoppers are starting to get notice. These are sometimes sufficiently high-pitched they can only be heard by a small number of Londoners. The same is true for the high squeaks of some bats. The most reassuring sound that tells us it is midsummer is from the screaming parties of overhead swifts, which can in good breeding years be heard all over the capital, even its heart.